And we are going 3, 2, and 1. What's up, everybody? All my bold beauty bosses. And I was just sharing with our guest today, the famous, the infamous Sam Ward, right? And that she is my first international guest. And very quickly, I've been following Sam. Sam, I've been following you for a while. Obviously, we're trying to get our times right because we are across the pond. How the UK folks say, the pond, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted Sam on this show and for me personally to interview, because I was making a list of Madame Sam Ward's all the stuff she dabbles in. And so let me give you just briefly, and Sam, I'm pretty sure there's more, but so far you are a registered nurse, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, an esthetician. You're an esthetician trainer. You're an author. You're a wholesaler. So you distribute the fillers and stuff as well. And I started running out of fingers to count on everything that Sam would. So Sam, first of all, thank you so much from my heart to yours. It's such an honor to speak with another six-figure esthetician. So welcome. Right, what's going on in the UK? Talk to me.
Oh, well, we've just been put back into
shutdown.
The shutdown. It's been snowing, which was nice. It shut down, so everyone's on a bit of a downer today. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's the third time now, so.
And you know what? It is what it is. That's what I tell people. No matter where you are, there you go. There you go. That's just, and we're taking what's with us. But one thing I know, Sam, from speaking to a lot of estheticians, from speaking to successful business owners, that success is not something that happens by luck, right? So success, especially with you, you started one business, then you kind of branched off into this, then you branched off into this. And to me, the pattern of you branching off is just wonderful. And you're an author as well. So to be able to have that knowledge and share it. So before we get deep into some of the tips and tricks that you have accumulated over the years, let's find out a little bit about you. How did you get started in the beauty, the aesthetics industry? Is that something you always wanted to do? How did you end up in this space?
I think that years ago, when I was a district nurse, somebody I knew started doing it, and it was very unusual to do aesthetic treatments. And it was like, America have always been ahead of us. They were always doing private treatments, but we're predominantly like NHS. And for a nurse to leave the NHS is a big, like, wow, you're actually like going into your own thing. So it was never something that people did, but I'm always wanted to take chances. And I think I've always wanted to not only work for myself, but well, going back again, when I was a district nurse, this sounds really silly, but I didn't really like treating poorly people. It affected my mental health a little bit. I was thinking everyone's poorly, and I developed health anxiety myself. So I went back to university again to become a health visitor. I don't know if the USA have health visitors.
What is that? You got to translate some of these things. First of all, what is NHS? What is NHS? That's some government entity or what?
Okay, so it's the National Health Service. So in the UK, most nurses, doctors, everything like that, the government, they're employed by the government, so they don't go off and do private practice. I mean, some do. I mean, if I had to put a figure on it, I don't know. It might be 80-20, 70-30. I don't know, but it's a big thing. Most nurses think that they have to have the security of being in the NHS. So
and that's because a lot of the healthcare is provided for in the UK. Is that unlike America where everything is privatized, right? And that's probably the split. That's probably why there's 80-20 on your side, and our side is like 0.
Exactly. So if you want to go and get anything, unless you've got a lot of money and you want to get it there and then, and a very specific like private service, then you go through the NHS. But what we do, like Botox and fillers, it's obviously private because it's not a medical need. So going back to when I was in the NHS, I was dealing with a lot of really sick, poorly patients in the community, and then I decided to go and be a health visitor, which is, I don't know what it would be in the USA, but it's a nurse that goes to see like pregnant mums and mums that have just had babies.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have that. You will have the equivalent in the USA. I'm not sure what they're called.
So
It's a special.
you were making house calls? Were you going to people's houses,
Yeah,
check in, or okay, cool, cool, okay,
yeah. So it's a bit like being a social worker. So like I moved away from bandaging legs and stitches and everything to actually promoting health and looking
okay,
after women and families and children. And I actually got nominated for an award, a Nursing Times Award, which is a big thing. Because I work within the traveling community and help them because they're quite because they don't use the health. You know, they don't have a lot of education. They don't go to school. They travel
right,
around a lot. They're at risk. So I work with them. And then I did my prescribing because to be able to get Botox, you have to be a prescriber. And then I ended up doing the Botox course from the lady that I knew. And I was like one of the first ones in my, you know, to do it. And I got called in and everyone's like, what is it you're doing? Have you told
mm,
your governing body? And I was like, it's just private work. And they couldn't understand it. They were like, but now everyone's doing it now. So it's like,
yeah.
it's so
Oh my
common now.
God, it's everywhere, right? So you're a little bit ahead of the curve
Yeah,
when the government started cracking down on you, saying, hey, what are you doing? What's going
yeah,
on?
yeah. I
Okay,
got interviewed and I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just giving Botox and fillers. But now they wouldn't dream of doing that now because loads of nurses are doing it now.
yeah.
So we're just catching up to America, I think, in private. We're going more private for more things, especially with the demands on the NHS at the minute with COVID and things like that. There's just too many demands. So they're dropping a lot of treatments.
And
Um,
you know what? I truly believe, you know, so before you're basically working for somebody else, and when you're private, you're now your own boss, right?
yeah,
And here, you know, I completely feel you and I understand. And sometimes, God, I try not to make it sound bad or horrible. Like I don't want to work with like poor people or something like that. It has nothing to do with that. But when you're around disease a lot, when you're around a lot of poverty, that's not for everybody. You have to be a certain breed, because even me, when I first started long time ago, I wanted to be a doctor, and I became, here in the US, it's called the EMT, emergency medical technician, and we were like in the ambulance. So when we go out there, we help people. But I did it for a little bit. I did some volunteer work at hospitals, and it was really hard for me to be around that, right? So
yeah,
so I completely understand it. And sometimes, Sam, it's like what we were talking about before. It's like, you know, you have to find your calling, and when you're not in your calling, regardless of if you're doing good work, and you know, all that work, I believe, is really really good. You're helping people, you know, you're help dealing in health. But at the same time, if you're not happy in there, it's hard for you to deliver good service too, right?
yeah. I think when I do something, I'm quite passionate, and I've always been passionate about promoting health and preventing things rather than treating the
Yeah.
like an illness or health promotion and that's the path and like kind of like mental health and a bit of motivation and then when I do aesthetics now and I see people anti-aging women that feeling really good about themselves and it just makes me
Yeah.
feel happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the name. I think, you know, when you're happy and you have happy clients, it's a great win-win. So then you started Ask Aesthetics, and how old is that organization? How when did you start your business? How did that come along?
I finally took the step to leave the NHS, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're leaving. What about your pension? What about your pension?" And I was like, I didn't understand it because I was like, "This is my life. I can sort, you
Yeah.
know, my pension out like at some point." But I left, and that was January 2017.
Hmm.
So nearly 4 years now. Um, but the month I left, I actually got pregnant with my third child, and he ended up having loads of problems. So I lived in the hospital with my other two children for quite a long time. But it was during that time that I wrote up my courses because I wanted
Oh
to go into
wow.
aesthetics. He's
Hmm.
fine now, but it was just a difficult time. But I used it um, to do the teaching while I was
No,
sat in the hospital.
and that is inspirational right there, because a lot of the times, you know, Lord knows I've been in enough hospitals. You sit around and it's just hard to sometimes just concentrate on something. And you, especially with your child there as well, you're able to create a course. Talk about when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade, huh?
Well, I thought it was either going to send me one way, because I have always been had anxiety, myself for many years, and I thought it's either going to send me one way or the other, and it actually sent me the other way. It's made me a lot stronger, so that now I do still stress quite a lot, but I don't as much as I used to do, and I used it to do something good instead of, and it's so easy to go the other way. But I was surprised that I didn't go the other way, to be honest.
No, no, and that's awesome, right? A lot of times it's like it's our focus, right? I guess if you have something to take your focus off some of the negativity that's around us, and you're able to pull something great from it, that's a wonderful lesson right there. What did they say? Idle time is the devil's playground, right?
Exactly.
So so
I
so
think I mean,
that's.
I am a believer in things happen for reasons in a strange way. Because when
Mhm.
I look back at everything that's happened in my life, it's happened at the right time, and everything that's happened, something's come from it. So that's the way I think usually.
No, no, absolutely right, and that's the thing. Like sometimes, like if I'm a man of saying, so I've accumulated all these sayings because whatever I want to say, someone else has said it better than me. So
Yeah,
it's like they're just saying, if you ever want to get something done, give it to a busy person, because we all know people that either they're unemployed or they're sitting on the couch all day, they're not doing anything, and you go, hey, can you do me a favor, can you just do this one thing for me, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, and it doesn't get done. And but you
exactly.
give it to but if you give it to somebody that's busy, they're all over the place, they're like an octopus with arms everywhere, and they somehow manage to get it done, right? So that's so critical. It's like, stay busy. If you're not busy, you're gonna lapse into a default, and do something that's not going to be productive for your business, right?
I think
Right.
that is so true. I've learned that that's what helps me myself. If I keep focused on working towards something, I'm not crazy or anything like that, but it just helps me. I'm happy when I mean, in January, I'm always happy because there's always new goal setting, new challenges. And I'm actually quite happy, whereas a lot of people get down in January. But I have come across a lot of people that they want the dream, they want to work, but they don't want to do the work. And it's a bit
Yeah.
like, I have always been that person, whereas just do it now. And someone might go, oh, we'll do that tomorrow, or we'll do that next week. And I'm like, why can't we just do it now? I just do
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's a big, that's a big thing. Like, God, you know what? Like my mom, she used to always say it to me all the
yeah,
time. Like, let's not do tomorrow what we can do today. Let's do it right now. I'm like, Mom, we'll do it later. No, you're sitting around, you're just doing this. Let's just do it
that's
now.
good.
You do it, and it's easier to do, and it gets done. And now I'm the same thing. I tell my
Yeah,
wife this all the time. I'm like, babe, she goes, well, we'll do. I go, babe, it's gonna take 5 minutes. Let's just get it done.
just do it. Yeah.
Right. So absolutely. So, you started your own business, and again, it sounds like, it was gonna be, first of all, there weren't too many people doing that. You're losing the comfort of your pension, a government funded job, to venture out on your own, and business is hard, right?
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
regardless of
yeah.
what business you're in, the challenges are, the things that we face, the unexpected things that pop up. So Sam, why start a business if it's so hard? Meaning, why didn't you just stay in your comfortable job?
I mean, I just think, you get one life, and what I did was I figured out I would only have to make a certain amount of money to survive on. And I was
Hmm.
confident that I could, because I started doing it alongside my other job, and I could see that I could. And I thought, if I didn't try it, I'd always like regret it, because I
Yeah.
could always go to it. So I just always, yeah, you just have to take that risk. And I just thought, I'm just gonna take the risk. But I did do it alongside my other job at first, and let it build up
Yeah.
a bit. But I mean, I've never done a business course in my life. I've never been my daughter, she's like at college now. My daughter's nearly 17, and she started a business course. And Mum, I don't like it. I said, you don't really need to do a business course, because
Yeah.
I think you're either that way minded or you're not. And it's your passion and your drive that's going to get you there.
So
Well, it
so
has me.
you didn't take any business course. What kind of education do you have? Did you go to school? Not go to school? What'd you do?
Oh, so to be a nurse, you have to go and obviously college,
Okay.
university. degree and everything. So I've got a few, yeah, I've got some degrees and stuff.
No, awesome, awesome. Yeah, my fault. Totally forgot that nurses part. I'm so headed into Sam's future, right? So when you started the business, and I really believe that was really smart, because some people, what they'll do is they'll step all the way into it. If you have another job, and in the beginning you're slowly starting this one, to me, that's always been a nice way to do it, just because you can start building this one up and still have that. And the minute this one really starts taking off, you can always quit the other job, right?
Yeah. I mean, another thing I've just thought of that probably did push me as well is what I was saying about my daughter. I mean, I was a teenage mum as well.
Hmm.
So when I had my daughter, I remember a couple of people saying to me like, "Oh, you've ruined your life now. You're not going to do anything." I dropped out. I did drop out of college, so
Right.
I had a year to kind of think, "What am I doing? Like, I need to sort myself out." So I think that really pushed me as well into thinking, "I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to do this." So that probably helped as well.
Yeah, you know what? People can be bitter, and you can use some of that anger and bitterness, and kind of, use it to fuel your fire, right?
Yeah,
One of my favorite sayings is, the biggest success is, the biggest revenge is massive success.
yeah,
So, instead of wasting their time, and trying to get back at people, because when you try to respond to negativity, we almost have to stoop down to their level, right? To kind of
mhm,
respond, because this is where they are. The minute we just acknowledge, we kind of just look back every now and then, go, I remember you, and then you still continue to live your dream. And then
yeah,
when you're at that level where you are, that is so powerful, because you can let that consume your dream, or you can let it fuel your dream, right?
yeah,
So so
exactly.
so that's awesome. So starting a business, again, even if you take a business class, they still don't prepare you for a life in business. So regardless of that, starting the business, what were some of the hardships that you faced? What were some of the things that you dealt with that weren't expected, that kind of maybe caught you off guard?
I mean, I do know that a lot of the time you don't stop, you don't get breaks. I mean, you don't just leave work and then it's gone. Um, you're answering messages late at night,
Yeah,
things. But when you go on holiday, you take your phone with you, you take your diary with you. But I did it for a while, knowing that it wouldn't always be forever. So now I actually employ about 4 or 5 members of staff, and so that
awesome.
when away now that they obviously take the messages on. So you have to do it in the beginning to get where you want to be.
It takes time. It's not a job, right? I mean, a lot of the times, there's, I think, give and takes when you work for somebody, and or you work for yourself. When you work for somebody, if somebody wants something that's assured, that hey, you're going to get this much of an hourly or a monthly, you can call in sick whenever you want, you can,
Yeah,
you have a 2-week holiday and stuff like that. In the beginning, when you run a business, it's work,
yeah.
right? Like how many hours were you working? What was your daily schedule like in the beginning when you're building your business?
Uh, just literally all the time till like
Yeah,
midnight, and then but it becomes an obsession. It becomes like I actually quite enjoyed doing it because I'd be doing my own social media, and you'd be answering messages, and people would book in with you, and you get a little bit of a buzz. So I did
yeah.
really mind, to be honest, and I still do now. I still answer messages now because I have a lot of people messaging me, but I don't think they understand now because I don't control the diary or anything now. So a lot of people will message me and like, oh, like where's my parcel or where's my appointment? I'm like, I don't even know anymore because like I have a team now that sorts that out. So I just don't know. So I just pass them on to Ask Aesthetics rather than me dealing with it. So
No,
it's yeah.
no, and that's awesome. And looking, I'm on your Facebook page right now. You got you know, uh, just a small bit of a following. I think it's only about 3,376 people. That's not too shabby, Sam. And to me, that is so powerful, because when you have a large following, when you have a lot of people interested in your business, to me, it's a numbers game. The more people you're speaking to, the more people that you have accessible to kind of share what your products, your services, whatever you're selling, the more ears your message goes to, the more chances are they're going to become clients, right?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think Instagram is nearly 5,000, so I am really proud
Wow.
of that.
Woo,
But
woo.
yeah, yeah, and that's all like organically as well. Like I haven't, I mean, I actually am doing my own social media again now because I've had that many people in doing it for me. It's like it's not personal. So
Right.
even though I am really busy, I know what people like from me. And I liked one of your videos the other week because a lot of people will say, Sam, you're on Facebook too much, you're this, that, and the other. But the amount of people that message me and say, I really want to book a course with you because you seem really down to earth, you seem fun, you seem
Yeah.
friendly, you know, you're a medic, but you're not snobby or anything like that, and you're helping others. And because of they see my personality and my home life and me as a person, they're buying into like me rather than they don't know how good I am. I think I am quite good at what I do, but they're buying into me because they believe in me. And I'm like, no, I'm not staying off it. I can't stay off Facebook because I'll end up going back to it because that's where I get a lot of work from, Facebook.
Yeah. You know what? And that is so powerful. So here, did you try outsourcing your social media before? Because did you say that it's
lots,
like somebody else was doing it?
lots of times.
Yeah.
They really they do a good job, but because they just like choosing random pictures, they don't know you or you. They're just trying to just color coordinate and make it look very pretty. But I don't. I've looked at other successful people, and that's not what it's about. It's just about personal posts,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
So around how many different people or organizations would you say you tried working with your social media until you finally said, forget it, I'm going to do it myself?
I think I've worked with about eight, eight of them.
Wow.
Mm,
Right.
yeah.
So, and just to make it crystal clear for everybody here, right? Because you're speaking to me, and you see my work. I am not Hollywood production by a long shot, right? It's just pretty much, here's the camera, here's me. What you see is what you get. So
Mm.
one of the things I tell people all the time is if you outsource your work, your social media page to somebody else, one, they don't understand you. They can never represent your personality unless that person's been working with you for a long time, and then they're like your best friend or whatever, right? They kind of know you. But other than that, if another company is just posting things on your social media, they're using like clip art, or they're using all these other people's pictures, and they're just, your social media is busy, right? It's got like 3 posts a day, but is it making that connection with your client? Is it reaching out? Is your client, does your client know who you are? Does the client know who Sam is better because of somebody else's picture? And to me, I tell people all the time, don't do that, right? You need to be the face of your business. So Sam, you tried 8 people, organizations. They weren't giving the results that you wanted. What did you do?
I just would go back to doing what I do again and then get good interaction. And then, because like you learn how to be different roles. I mean, I'm a nurse and I do aesthetics, but I feel like if I ever left that, I could probably teach how to do social media. I could probably teach how to do all sorts of things because when you're running a
Yes.
business, I'm a master of like several trades, and then I'd be too busy, so I'd be like, no, I need someone else. But I think you're right, and I think there's only so much I can do. But now I'm employing staff. They're helping me because they know how I work and
Yeah.
what we do, so they're helping me with that now as well.
Yeah,
So
but how important was it when it came to building your business that your client knows you? Like you mentioned before, on Facebook, you get all these people messages saying, I see you doing this. Do you think that personal touch helps when it's you on social media as opposed to some other clip art?
yeah, you can see when you put a personal picture with me or the staff in it, the interaction, it goes crazy.
Yeah.
And I have my personal Facebook over everything, over Instagram, over the Facebook, over emails. That's the one every day that I get so many messages through. But I mean, because I like to like keep it fun, and I do like funny videos and make people laugh, and I can get a bit upset. So I'm an emotional person be quite upset, but I'm a happy person in general. I go around being
Mhm.
happy, and then someone will upset me, and I'm quite an open book. And a lot of people say, Sam, you're too open, but up to now, it's not done me too bad being that open. I probably just need to maybe rein it in a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
been okay.
Hey, you know what? You being in the well high six figures, you have that following that you have. Uh, eh, to me, this is one of the secrets of success. I always tell people, if you want other people to be an open book to you, to share what they want, what their fears are, what they need, what's going on in their world, in order for you to get, you have to give.
Mm,
Right, so by sharing yourself, by sharing your story, by sharing what's going on in your life, because I can't tell you, similar to you, Sam, I can't tell you how many people have messaged me because they got this going on or that's going on, because I just tell them what it is. I go, hey, this is what's going on, and
yeah,
I'm a relatively positive person. It's like,
yeah,
on my pages you're gonna get nothing but good from me. I try so hard, and I love it because I meet wonderful people like you. I can't tell you how many estheticians, cosmetologists and lash and skin folks that I've met that I'm just like, you all are just so amazing. And sometimes we don't see it within ourselves, but like, like you, I see you as a kindred soul. And when two kindred souls kind of meet and we talk, and we have the like business mind, and we have these aspirations, we lift each other up, right? And it's
yeah,
so easy to get negative in this world. This world is like, it's like shadows trying to swallow us all the time. It's like, dang, you gotta
yeah,
you gotta run and find the light,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
right? Yeah.
Definitely. It's challenging, but I'm kind of getting used to it a little bit, because the better you do, the more you're going to get that. I mean, it's natural. Any successful person, they must get, I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but celebrities, they get so much abuse and everything. And I
Yeah.
mean, they don't go around reading it all. They'll be spending all day. You've just got to kind of carry on. And in a way, it means you're doing well, I suppose, doesn't it? If
It's such a horrible metric for
I,
success. How many haters do I have?
exactly.
But it's true, right? The more you got, because you know what, not everybody on your Facebook feed is your fan, right?
No,
Sometimes it's our own family that is, not supporting us, and I can't tell you how many people I speak to, and that's just reality, right? We can't change people. We just interact with more and more positive people like us, and that's one of the
yeah,
reasons why I created this and wanted to, speak with you, because I go, we need people like each other to hold
like,
each other accountable, right?
mm,
To laugh, to cry, and just be human beings. We're allowed to be an open book, and not have to change our good hearts and nature just because there's a bunch of jerks. You heard me, you
yeah.
bunch of jerks that are out there not celebrating our success, Sam's success, so and so success. Celebrate, and if you can't celebrate, then hey, good luck in life, right? That's what else can we
It's
say?
finding, it's finding them people, and I do listen to a lot of motivational speakers on YouTube, and it's being around the people that want to see the best. Want to see the best for you, really. Um,
Yeah.
um,
So so
you know,
so what do you do? Like again, having a clear head, it is so critical in our business, because here I'm going to be an open book. There's some times where, like, my wife and I, we get into an argument or a tiff, and she'll say something, and me being just stupid, I'll say something back that of course I always regret later. It's like, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? Right? But the thing is, because of that interaction, my mind is not straight, right? My mind is not in a good, healthy place where I can help somebody else's day get better. I can't light somebody else's fire, help somebody else out if I'm struggling myself, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, what do you do at times like that when you're struggling, or you're just not sure, and you're dealing with doubt? What are some of the things that get you back into that positive state of mind?
I mean, uh, perspective can change on a daily basis sometimes. Sometimes you can just have a bad
Yeah.
day, and then you can wake up, and have just a new perspective, but I tend to just get home and get in my hot tub, and then chill out in my hot tub, which I got during lockdown because I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this? I'm going to get a hot tub. So, but when I'm in that hot tub, I'm alone, I'm with my thoughts, I'm not, and I have time to reflect, and you think a bit clearer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I used to do like meditating, but I haven't really got time with the children because they're always running in and out the room. So I just get in my hot tub now and just like chill.
You're on your second om and this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And that's so true. Like perspective matters so much. And I think what happens is when something bad happens in our lives, or just one incident, right? That incident isn't all of our reality, right? That's like this one pea, like a sand size thing that came up. But what happens, and just to put it in comparison, let's just say like this thing is my problem. This is what my iPod's case. If this is the problem in my day, what we do as human beings, we kind of get this and put this like right here, go, oh my God. And we bring that problem so close to us and we just focus on the problem and that's all we see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I've learned to do, Sam, and what keeps me sane is, if my wife said this or I said that, does that mean my wife's a bad person? No. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No. She said this one thing, but one thing in like the gazillion things she's done right, that she said this that I didn't appreciate. That doesn't make her a bad person. That's just a bad thing, just like that one thing, right?
No.
So,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I've been called a bad person before, and I think you don't even know me. Like you say, nobody looks at all the good that you do, but you could say or do one thing, and it's like, I mean, we're all human beings at the end of the day. None of us are really bad people. But I totally agree with everything that you've just said. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like, focus on, if someone's gonna focus on the bad that's in their life or that thing that happened, you know what?
Yeah.
Be fair. Focus on all the good as well, right? Balance that out. Go, okay, you focus on the bad. We have our little pity party where so and so said this or this person has said this. That's fine. But you know what? Let's look at all the good too. And so much more time, Sam, that when I'm able to be fair with my perspective, I realize life is good. Life is like 99.9% good. Every now and then, this one thing, we kind of just focus it so much. That's all we can see. When we take it back and we focus on everything, life is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think definitely, and I think it's energy, and if you're just using all your energy on, I mean, that's why during lockdown I thought, right, what can I do? Plan B, let's have a safety net. What can I do to keep us going? So I put all my courses online on an electric system because I thought a lot of stuff's going online now. People can study. Some don't need a practical. People could still study online and then get a certificate or come in for the practical later. I opened the wholesale and I wrote the book. And I've always wanted to write a book. So at night, people chill out in different ways. I quite like chilling with my laptop with a glass of wine, writing the book. And I kept my children busy. And I know that you need to learn to chill. You don't need to just always be busy, but you do. And I got them in a lot of outdoor activities and stuff like that. But I just tried to focus on what can I do instead of like, oh my gosh, this is going to be bad. Like, what opportunities have I got and what can I do?
Absolutely right, and that's the thing, right? It's the perspective we keep. A lot of people like me, I tell myself I have tunnel vision, meaning I want to look at this thing and just focus on that as much as I can. Things will take me off cars, all that stuff, and then I get back into it because I know this right here is all bad. This right here is all bad. I don't really watch news. I really don't know what's going on in the world. I'm the dumbest guy. If you ask me about anything that's going on in the world, and some people say, oh my God, Wick, you should know. You should know what's going on in the world. I'm like, you know what Wick needs to know? What's going on in my business so I can be a wonderful human being that takes care of my family. And by doing so, right, Sam? And this, like when you're able to do well, when you're happy and you're leading by example, that then you're helping other people like you, because you're a trainer as well, and you train people. right? And you're able to now teach them how to take care of their family, right? How to
Exactly.
basically pass it forward. So what are some of Sam's famous tips and tricks? What are some of the techniques that you use to grow your business, grow your brand? So we heard about social media. So you're hands on social media.
Yeah.
You did a lot of it yourself before. What are some of the other things that you found out that really helped out your businesses?
So yeah, definitely social media every day, making your presence known every day. Also as well, you know, having good relationships with other people in the business really helps. And never,
Mhm.
I do call it a bit of obsession. There's a quote somewhere. Is it Colin McGregor? But I have it on my wall. But he says it's not talent. You know, people think it's talent, but it's not. It's obsession. And I
Yeah.
think that you just never ever stopping doing so. If you do want something, unfortunately, you do have to work hard at it, unless you're given money, which I wasn't given money. My parents never had a lot of money, and I just never stopped. And then, you know, if people think, oh, well, she's got that, she's lucky. It's not luck that really irritates me, because it isn't luck. It's the fact that I've worked so hard, and I never really stop. So that I would say that is the main thing, because if you want anything, and there's a lot of things I don't have the answers to, and if I haven't got the answer to it, I will make sure I find out. So I'll brainstorm, I'll sit there and I'll think, right, well, how can I find out the answer? I can speak to that person, I can go to there, I can do that, different ideas. And you've just got to really think out the box as well, not just be like narrow minded, and think out of the box and take risks. I think all them things together, I think you can be successful in anything you want to do.
Sounds like a good formula for me. So, here, being, of course, having kids, running a business, doing all this stuff, what are your thoughts on balance? Is your life balanced? Like, a lot of people talk about the home life balance, about this and that, how do you feel that in your life? Is your life balanced? Was it not balanced? What do you think?
In the past, it hasn't been. It's literally just been me on my phone till late at night, hardly talking to my kids. Then I feel guilty, and then it for a few days afterwards, I'm exhausted and I'm like, got headaches and everything. So I've just needed to learn to say, like, right, at maybe a certain time of night, I'll put my phone
Yeah.
away. I'll have some time to chill, and it's just kind of setting times. But again, because I've now employed staff, I can kind of take a bit of a step back and let them, and I just literally come in, see my students, teach, do what I need to do, and they deal with all the other things. Whereas at first it was just me running everything. But I kind of had to do that at first. It can be difficult at first to build it up, but obviously then the hard work pays off. So it's got easier now as it's gone along.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people, because I hear these beautiful quotes, right? Like, oh, you must have the work and family balance and stuff like that. It's like, and I don't disagree with it, right? I'm talking about. I'm not saying neglect your family, neglect your kids, neglect relatives or anything of that sort. But that's why I truly believe you and I are like kindred souls, because when you're obsessed with something, right? When it becomes your obsession, obsession is one of those words. It's strong. Like, this is what I want. And I think a lot of estheticians, a lot of gals in the beauty industry, when they first start diving into it, like how would you describe obsession? So when you got into the beauty industry, what are some of the things that you did, or where you kind of look back, go, that shows that you were obsessed?
Yeah, it's just basically never stopping. It's on your mind all the time, and every bit of time, spare time that you've got an energy, you're investing in. I like to make a lot of notes as well, and make sure that if I can't physically do it, I'll write a note and make sure I can do it when I've got time. But yeah, it's just literally not stopping. But I mean, I am going to try and get more of a balance, because I haven't really got any like hobbies at the minute. Like, I want to get more into fitness and all that lot. But then I think I have to draw the line somewhere, because I've got 3 children. And if I'm
Right.
working till 5 or 6 at night, do I want to come home and then go, bye, I'm going to the gym, and then not see them? It's not always going to be, well, one of them isn't even at school yet. So then as times change and things don't stay the same forever, I know that I will then add a bit more time in for exercise, and that is one of my New Year's resolutions, to be honest, to try. But I'm lucky, because my husband, he was like the stay-at-home dad, so we kind of like switch roles reversed a little bit. But he
Mhm.
works for me as well, so he helps me with everything. to do with the business as well. So it's like a teamwork, a team effort, which is good.
That you know what, and that's awesome to be able to have that kind of support as well. And that's what, like when you're talking about in the beginning, you know, there are very few like successful people that I see that say, well, yep, it's all about balance. You know, because I'm like you, I'm crazy. I am so obsessed with a business, because once you get obsession and you find the love and the passion that you have, and you can equate that to a revenue, because I don't care what people talk about, like I'm such a capitalist. I'll tell people all day long, money matters, right? If you want a lifestyle, you want to take care of your kids, you want to give to your charity, your church, your community, you don't want to grow up poor, like you know, I grew up poor, right? I grew up dirt poor. I don't want my child to grow up with, you know, without, right? So a lot of the times that obsession that we have in the beginning, it's because like me, you know, I'm afraid of being poor. I'm like scared. I will run and do whatever I have to do and work the wee hours of the night because I don't want that life again.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I've seen that before, and I've been there. And I just want me and my family to be, you know, comfortable, and I do a lot for charity in the local. I do sponsor a lot of like the football teams in the area, and Christmas time I dressed up as an elf and I was giving presents to the children that I brought. And I'm always trying to give back, because I just think it's nice to help, because it makes you, I mean, I am a massive believer in the law of attraction. That's another thing as well, like massively. And I just think if you wish it, you believe it, and things like that. I just I think that's helped as well. So a lot of people say that they're in, a lot of people are getting into that now, but I've been into it for quite a few years already.
Yeah. What's the law of attraction? I kind of sort of know what it is. I think a lot of people sort of know what it is, but what is Sam's definition of law of attraction?
Well, first of all, if no one's ever seen The Secret, they need to watch The Secret on Netflix. But it's just like the universe, and a lot of people might roll their eyes and look at me, but they say scientifically as well, but we're all energy. All of us are energy. And if you're going to put out positive energy, it will eventually come back. I mean, you can't just say, I want £1 million and the £1 million is going to turn up on your door, but you can be confident enough to have a figure like that. And people have said to me, oh, I'm not materialistic. I'm the least materialistic person. I never get my nails done. I never have any jewelry. I'm not materialistic at all. But if I wanted that money, there'd be nothing wrong with me saying that to support me and my family. And just kind of like just being as good as you can and believing it. And then if something happens, just thinking, well, there's a reason why that's happened, and I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing. And opportunities come and you have to take them. Instead of just, you know, saying no. It's a bit like that movie with Jim Carrey, The Yes Man. I don't know if you've seen it, but
yes.
You know, some things I've said, oh, you know, that didn't really work out, but at least to give it a try, because you know, if an opportunity comes, then usually it's good to just take it and just see, because you would never know otherwise.
Yeah. So here, let me ask you a question, because you know, I'm a big believer in The Secret. I've seen that movie more times than I can count. I used to play it when I go to bed and just listen to it and hope some of that permeates my brain, right? So one thing about The Secret is like there's a lot of you know, you're thinking, you're believing when they're talking about, you know, imagine your hands on the steering wheel of the car and, you know, you get that feeling, right? I like that part. So but how important is action as well? So we meditate, we believe, we create our goal boards. I'm sitting on my sofa meditating for those £1 million, right? Am I going to get the £1 million?
No, this is the key thing. This is the key thing, and this is what we were talking about before. A lot of people will want it, but they're not actually want to do the work or just get it done. And I've been through a lot of problems myself with people that have come on wanting to kind of work with me, but not actually wanting to do any work and just kind of reaping the benefits. And it's like, it just doesn't work that way. You have to actually put the physical work in, you know, and it will come.
Just, you know, I you know, a long time ago, I had a mentor, and this really stuck with me. I hope it sticks with a lot of our listeners, right? Is they told me, they go, Wick, if you ever want to know like truly what somebody is about, you know, like people to me, people lie all the time, right?
Yeah.
People, we live in a world full of fibbers, liars, not to
Yeah.
sound cruel, but that's just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
You know, people will say things, right? They go, and he told me, he goes, if you ever really want to know what somebody's about, what they want or what they're about, don't look at what they say, look at what they do,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Because and this is what I mean. If somebody says, hey, I want £1 million, I want £1 million, and it's
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, and you see them at the pub, right?
Yeah.
They should be working or grinding. I'm not saying don't have a good time, but
Yeah.
if,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
someone is behind on their bills, someone's behind on their promises, someone is not where they want to be in life, right? And you see them, it's like, hey, I got this opportunity. Oh, you know what? I'm busy. I'm watching football, right?
Yeah.
So someone's telling me they want the £1 million, but when I look at the action that they do, you know, how many posts, this is the number one thing, Sam, because as a mentor, people ask for me to work with them, and the first thing I'll do, I'll go on their social media and I'll say, okay, how many times are they posting? What are they posting? If someone is posting you know, one post a week on Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they're not really active on Facebook. If someone's not really active on social media, that tells me they're not really active in their business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I'm seeing what they do, not what they say, right?
Exactly.
Do you agree, not agree? What do you think?
I totally 100% agree. And that goes back to, again, people saying you put too much on Facebook, Sam. And I'm like, I'm not even doing it. I'm not like doing anything wrong. What is your problem? People get uncomfortable. When I said I was writing the book, they were like,
Yeah,
you're writing a book. I mean, one of my friends said to me, well, I can't keep up with what you're doing. You're always doing something random. You're a dreamer and all this. It's like, you've wrote a book. Oh, right. And it's like, why not? Like, there's thousands of people that
yeah,
have wrote books. Like, what's the problem with writing a book? Like, you know.
yeah. What's up with that? You know, because I follow you, I stalk you, Sam. You know, in a positive way, and I saw there like some negativity around you in the book. What's up with that? Why were
I mean, I
people?
knew,
What's going
and
on?
it's not. I mean, I knew. But as soon as I wrote the book, it was literally within
Hmm.
an hour. I don't know about the US. I don't know if only doctors and nurses can do Botox and fillers in the US, but in the UK, you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse. You can be a beautician. And because I work
Right.
with beauty therapists, oh my gosh, the problems I've had with that has been. I mean, when I started doing it 10 years ago, I got slated all over the internet. You're going to lose your nursing. You're horrible. I can't believe you're doing that. And I was like, I've always had this medic versus non-medic debate about, you could have a beautician who's been studying skin and treatments for years. They're doing all sorts of
Hmm.
needling. If they've got the support around them, if they're working alongside a medic, if anything was to go wrong. But I've seen reactions go wrong with cosmetic things, nothing to do with medical things. And they're very safe. There's a reason why the government let it happen. There's a reason why each country is different, but it's not a medical procedure. And this is what people are getting confused about. But a lot of nurses now that kind of like said stuff to me about it and now working with non-medics and training them and stuff like that. And it's like,
Right.
and there's more and more coming, but I don't know what the whole problem. It's all to do with money because people go crazy over money and things like that. And the doctors don't think
Right.
the nurses should do it, and the nurses don't think the beauticians should do it. There's always, so she's not had that experience, and it's like, it just let people kind of like get on with it, kind of thing. But I've always stood by my word, and I'm glad that I did. I mean, I don't know what the rules are in the USA. Do you have to be a medical to do Botox and fillers? And
I have no idea who does what in terms of that, right? But all I know is there's a lot, the people that are negative, right? That and again, I'm going to say this, and people can get mad at me or whatever. But people that are negative, chances are they're not really doing well in life, right?
exactly,
And
exactly,
I'm not just talking about money. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about money, relationships. You know, the big
yeah,
things that really matter in our life. Because like me, if Sam, if I see you, you know, you came out with a book and you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, I'm on the sideline saying, "Go Sam, go Sam,
yeah,
go Sam," and that's what we need. But the people that
yeah,
are not willing to do that, because again, like you said, we all have haters. The more successful you get, the more you're out there, the more the haters are trying to pull you back down, right? But those people are not happy. So if you're a listener, if you're not celebrating somebody else's success, if you see Sam's book out there and you're not liking and commenting, if it's going past your feed, because sometimes here I'm gonna make a confession, Sam, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I'll make a confession every now and then, because my mind, and I'm a human being too, and you know, I'm thinking something different. I'll pass somebody's feed, and it'll be somebody sitting, you know, a nice picture, and then I won't like it. I'll just keep going back. I'm not mad at it, I just don't like it. But
Yeah,
then I go back, you know, then I ask myself, like, wait, what does it cost you to like that picture?
yeah,
What does it cost you? A quick, you know, thumbs up, maybe if I fill
yeah,
in a little heart and a smiley face, right? Oh, a quick comment, great job. You know what? It costs nothing to support, to be nice, to do that. And if you can do that, why not? So every now and then I've gone through a feed, and I'm like, and I'll go back, I'm like, wait, why didn't you like that? That's stupid. Go like, it doesn't matter if it's, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that human nature inside of us.
yeah. Yeah, well, you're obviously a very caring person, because you
Yeah.
know a lot of us miss things on Facebook and stuff like that. And just because you didn't like it doesn't mean you don't support it. But it's just there's no need for anyone. Like you say, if someone's busy and doing well, just get on with
Yeah.
it. You can't stop the
Yeah.
world, but people will turn around because, like you say, no one would say something to someone if they're doing better than them, and that is so true. But like people say, oh, she's writing this book, she'll train anybody willy nilly. But that's obviously not the case, and they don't know me. So you can't stop people from saying stuff. I don't just train anybody. They have to have a certain, you know, experience and criteria, and they get insured. And that's nothing to do with me. But I make sure that you know. But I don't even need to explain myself anymore to them because I'm always going to get it. So I need to then learn how to deal with that myself.
You know, and a lot of it is just letting go, because like,
Mm.
you know what, it's so weird, because I'll see someone like yourself, and I just see this beautiful, successful woman that, you know, I don't know too many, you know, I'm not gonna say women, not too many people in general, too many business owners that have a book, right? Or that are thinking in terms of like, because how you work, you know, it's a strategy. You're using your book, you got this business, you got that business, and just for everybody to know, Sam has some other things in the pipeline that may be coming. I'm not allowed to say what it is per
I'll
Sam,
hide
but
away.
right. So Sam is just, you know, you're really kicking butt, and I'm like super proud, and to see you
Oh,
and the
so
journey.
nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I didn't do it, you did it, right? I'm just seriously go,
Oh,
Sam. So here, let me ask you, Sam, let me ask you a question, because you've been down this road for a while. You know, you're doing well financially, you're starting to get balance in your life, and to me, that's so critical. So many businesses, in order to succeed, you almost have to be in a place of unbalance, because it's hard to be balanced and obsessed, right?
yeah, that
It's
is
just
so
hard to
true.
do.
I mean, you should see my house. Like it is, it's always messy. I mean, it's not a dirty house. It's a nice lived-in home. But I mean, I can choose to make the house perfect, or I can choose to work on the project I've been working, you know, and I will always
Yeah.
put the work. I mean, as long as I'm not living in a complete tip. But you know, I've not got a perfect house, my car, everything. So yeah, there is unbalanced, and sometimes you then feel bad and guilty for that, and then that can stress you out. And yeah, so I've not mastered that one yet, but I don't think I ever will.
Nah.
I don't think I'll ever be tied really, really perfectly tied.
And you know what? That's fine. Hey, you're speaking to the choir, right? You know, I'm the same way. I'm slammed. I'm busy. I could do this. Thank goodness for guests. Every now and then, I know a guest is coming. That's when the house gets cleaned.
That's what my husband says when I'm cleaning up. He says, "Who's coming over?" Yeah,
Hey, that's just how it is. So everybody listening, you're not alone, right?
yeah,
You don't. Your house doesn't need to be on the cover of some magazine. Are you comfortable? Are you cool? You know, we're human beings. We have a lot of things going on. When you have a house, you have 1,000 more problems. The plumbing isn't right. This tile is loose.
yeah.
The door is weird. Right? That's just life. It doesn't have to be perfect. But when we got a guest coming, the house is gonna smell like
That's
lavender.
so funny. That's what my husband says all the time. Who's coming over?
It's like, let's find out. So Sam, so again, you've done so much, and you're expanding, and you know you're successful. You're doing so many great things that I truly believe are inspirational, right? So please,
Thank you.
always give yourself credit for that, because from our conversation, it doesn't sound like too much of that was given to you, right? Somebody didn't just give you this success and here's this business, here's this, here's that, right? You did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
if you can go back in time now, Sam, and you've seen and had all these experiences, if you could go back and talk to Sam again, and give her some advice on the journey and what you're going to deal with and face, what would you do? What would you say to Sam that based on your experience now?
First of all, I'd say try and do things more like properly. Don't like do contracts, the set agreements. Don't just like go, yeah, I'll do that with you and give you that, because there is decisions. I thought, by showing someone quite like giving and like naive, and they kind of take advantage. Yeah. So I'd make sure I do stuff more official, but the main thing would be not to spend so much time stressing and worrying and getting upset. But someone told me something the other day that was really important. We all evolve differently. We all evolve at different rates. And I've probably evolved in some ways that other people haven't. But I need to go through these experiences to help me in business, so that 5 years down, my daughter now, my mum didn't have a business. My mum was like a stay-at-home mum. I had a lovely childhood. But I didn't get that like advice and experience. Whereas my daughter now, she wants to go into like business when she'll do like fitness, like PT or something. So she'll look at me and she'll see that the stuff I've been through and know how to handle it better, and know that it's normal and how to deal with it better. So
and you know what, I swear, however many times I've asked this question, it's never like, okay, you need to get better at treating skin, you need to do better. It's never the services, because like you said, you do good work, right? It's like that's just it. You get better, you're consistent, your clients are obviously happy if you got that kind of a following, and you're making good money, so the results are there. But so much of our issues come from our own self-doubt, right? Can we do it? So before, when you were like a registered nurse, and just to give me an idea, like roughly how much were you making then? Like what's the salary like for a registered nurse, or when you work for the NHS?
I got to a band 6, which is like a sister level, which is just you register and then you can go up a band, so it's quite good. I did 4 days a week. I was coming out with like 1,200 a month, but I was always skint. I could never. You do live team means in a way, but I would never be able to afford to go on like holidays and stuff like that. We love camping and stuff anyway, but I could never ever afford to go on like a proper abroad holiday or anything.
So how much were you making a year, roughly?
About 26,000 a year. That's as a band 6. If you start off as a registered nurse in the UK, you're on about 22,000 a year.
Wow. Okay. And at that time, what did you consider good money? Like what was in Sam's mind? God, if I can only make this much, I made it. Like.
I considered that good money, and then when I started watching like The Law of Attraction and what like Will Smith, I absolutely adore Will Smith, and Jim Carrey, and I was watching them, and they said to put something on the wall to a vision, and I put £40,000 thinking that was loads, and I was like, if I could just earn that, and then I quickly did earn that the year after, and when I look back at that now, yeah, that is a really good wage, it's brilliant, but I thought that was like, wow, that's so much money, but obviously there's a lot more, to be made in business and in industries like this.
Yeah. So now you're a healthy 6-figure, esthetician. You got all these businesses going on. If you were gonna tell, young Sam from before, and saying, hey Sam, if you do this, you can make good money, would that Sam believe you? Would she be like, no way, there's no way I could ever do that?
I didn't even think I would go to university, but I've been 3 times and, you know, passed 3 times. I think I'm the first one in my family to go university. And I didn't even think I'd be a nurse. So then when I was really proud of myself. I was like, well, let's see if I can push this a bit further. And then each time I've been like, maybe I can just go a bit further with this. So, you know, that's how it's all kind of gone for me.
Yeah,
So.
and that's, you know, and imagine if you wouldn't have pushed yourself, right? Imagine if you didn't, if you stayed comfortable. Let's just say you never started this journey, right? Let's just say you're still working at NHS, you're still the registered nurse. You know, what would your life have been then compared to what it is now?
I mean, you know, I'm sure. I mean, in life, all that matters is your family and everything. But the things I want to do in life and the opportunities and the traveling and everything. We've got a little camper van now, and we just go traveling around Europe and things like that. And I would never, the experiences I've given my children. I didn't go abroad till I was. I never went abroad, and I had a lovely childhood, but. I just think that there's a world out there. There's things to see and do, and why not? Everyone's different, but for me and what we want in life, and to be comfortable as well and not have to worry about money. That's one of the main. Well,
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I always tell people that the money is nice. You know, it gives you more flexibility, more freedom in your mind. But the best part is, God, the experiences you can share with your children, with your own life. Yeah, and Sam, like look at you now, like the person you've become because the process you've gone through, right? And to me, that's the most valuable part, because now that you learned all these skills, you know what it takes to get, you know, a 3,000 plus and a 5,000 on Insta followers. You know how to do this stuff. You have this skill set. So if someone was to take all of this away from you and you had to start again from zero, you know, you'd get there faster because you already know the path.
That's exactly what I said to my husband. Even if my best friend said that to me actually the other day. What she was the one who said about evolve. She's very wise. And she said to me, she's like my second mom. She's Jamaican. She cooks Jamaican food for me all the time. She lives opposite the road to me, and she's the wisest person. In fact, she got me into The Secret and everything. And she said about evolving, and she said, Sam, if everything came crashing down, she said, you'd still have you, and you'd still know like what to do. And I would still, I mean, especially from the experiences I've had now, I would always have a business. I wouldn't go back to the NHS. I miss being a nurse and I loved it, but and the money, and I know you shouldn't think you with money, but you know, the hard work that you do, and I do enjoy my job, and I think I'd find a passion and something else to work towards. I'd have the skills that I've already learned now from having a business to be able to build something else, hopefully. So hopefully, you know, it won't get to that, but you know, during these years, these times with COVID and everything, it's like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? And you just don't know. But you hear of businesses, don't you? Like successful business people that they fail and they crash, and then they build back up again. They build the businesses back up again.
That's all it is. And each time it just gets easier and easier. You know, my kid was, when he was learning to walk, he fell the first time, then he got better and better and better. And that's just a great analogy for life. So Sam, we have a lot of people, a lot of wonderful, wonderful, bold beauty bosses that are listening to this, that are going to watch this and learn lessons. You know, what is something you can tell them? Like if you can talk to, we have around 6,000 people in this group, and it's growing. What is something that you can tell them to kind of get them going in the right direction?
Just believe that you can do it. Watch The Secret and believe. Don't be negative. Challenge your thoughts. Any barriers, you know, that you've got, don't just see them as barriers. See them as how you can overcome them barriers, what you can do. Sit down. Vision boards, they're amazing. I'm always doing vision boards. Yeah. You know what just envision it, and don't just sit around. Actually think, I'm gonna actually, you know, go and actually just do it. I mean, why not? Just take the risk. You can always do it. There's never, you know, excuses. I mean, if I could do it from having nothing and having I was a teenage mom, if you know, then, and I've had anxiety issues all my life, but if I could have done that, then I'm sure anybody could do it. Didn't have any money or anything. I just had determination.
And a lot of times that's all it takes. So Sam, one last question is, when you're going and you're creating this business, all these businesses, right? When you're creating them and you're going down this path, sometimes the path isn't always clear, right? Would you agree with that? Right?
Of course,
sometimes,
of course.
right?
All the
So
time.
sometimes, most of the time, like I tell people,
Still
like
now.
me, I have no idea sometimes. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but having trust in that path. So how has that worked for you in your business in terms of just trusting yourself or continuing on a path or a journey and you don't even know what you're doing?
I still do that now. There's decisions I
Yeah.
make, and I'll speak to my family and friends and say, my business, like people who work with me, what should I do? I think sometimes deep down you always know what you should do. You should trust your gut instinct, because that tells you a lot about how you feel about a person and of what you do. But just because you don't know, don't write it off. Just carry on, and things will come. Opportunities will come. If it's meant to be, it is meant to be. That's what I tell myself. If it's not, it's not. Whatever's meant to be for me will be, if I just try and believe.
Yeah. And sticking on this theme of The Secret, and a good place to kind of close the sucker up is, I remember Jack Canfield was in The Secret, right? Jack Canfield, he was in there, right? And he had this amazing analogy that it's like engraved in my mind. He goes, if you are driving from California to New York in the middle of the night and it's nothing but dark, and all you have are these two headlights, that the headlights will see about 200 feet in front of you or whatever. And that's all you got to see is that little bit in front of you. But as you get there, the rest of the road will slowly start unfolding in front of you. So just by seeing 200 feet in front of you at a time, you'll make it from California all the way to New York, right? And sometimes, right?
Exactly.
Tell me about that. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's like you say, just because you can't see something, doesn't mean that you can't do it or achieve it. You just have to take it one step at a time. 100%. I remember that myself. I watch it at least once a year, twice a year, just to get myself re-motivated and remember what I've learned.
All right, so everybody remember, that's it. You don't have to know the whole journey, right? You don't have to be all the way there, because a lot of us business owners that have been in here, we just go, okay, we're here, now what? And you make a choice, and sometimes these choices are wrong. Sometimes we learn
Yeah.
our lessons, but you know what? We're not a tree. We're not planted. We're able to move and go, okay, that didn't work. Let's do this and let's do that.
Yeah.
And Sam, I'm listening to you, and thank you so much, right? Like, you are so inspirational, and
Oh, thank
anytime,
you.
yeah, no, well, no, I mean, thank you, right? So a registered nurse, an esthetician trainer, an author, a wholesaler, and I can't say that word. That's coming up, right? So you got a lot of great things planned, Sam, and that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
with
you.
us.
I hope this video can help other women and men in the industry. It's like a lot of men are entering now, and I just think, I've wasted a lot of money and you make mistakes. But like you say, uncertainty can cause anxiety, but everything in life's uncertain. So you've just got to go for it anyway. And I'll end with
face
that.
the fear and do it anyways. And just to recap, because I'm starting to do like a little recap, right? So one thing that I got from this interview, Sam, from you, is if you didn't try, you'd regret it. And I think to me
Exactly.
that is so powerful, that when you try, if you don't try, we don't
You'll
want
always
to look
wonder.
back, right? You'll always wonder. Stop wondering. Take the step. If it doesn't work, no problem. There's going to be people like Sam and myself to put our hand out and help you up.
You've still learned.
That's it, right?
You've still.
They might trip, they might fall, but they don't have to stay down. You just get up, dust off, and get up. So I really like that about yourself. Social media, Sam did so much of it herself because she understood that Sam, that you can resonate with your audience by you doing it. So handle that by yourself. Don't be trying to give it off to some folks that just want to keep your page look busy but not have content with some depth into it. So Sam, I really like that. The good relationships that you created with other folks around you, the folks that you work with, right? You don't have to be talented. Like Conor McGregor says, it's not talent, it's obsession.
Yeah,
Once you're obsessed with what you're doing, when you're obsessed with it, you know, you're obsessed with making sure your clients get the best results. You're obsessed with your marketing, you know, then you know what's going to happen. You'll be obsessed with your success. That's just right.
exactly.
And if anybody hasn't, watch the movie The Secret.
Yeah.
It's right. So Sam, again, thank you so much for this. I'm gonna shut this sucker off. I'll catch up with you again later, and we'll turn that off. But thank you so much, with from the bottom
Thank
of my
you.
heart, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.